Knicks and Bruises, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. I got my guy DJ Shuttle in the building. What up, Shuttle?
All aboard on a Monday game night. Let's go.
Yes, yes, sir. I'm ready for this game. I guess I could start with a little Knicks and Bruises injury report, right?
Oh,
It
too many
said
injuries. Too many injuries.
Tyler Kolek is on the list now as questionable. Deuce has been upgraded to probable, so we'll probably see Deuce back, and Kolek will probably be sitting down and getting some rest. Pardon me, my cat is scratching over there. Pardon me.
Hey, listen,
uh,
I already know your cat's running the show over there.
oh man, she was missing for a couple hours today too. I thought she escaped.
She ain't going nowhere.
She must have found a new hiding spot because she came out. But I was outside searching for her in the snow. Don't come over here.
Crazy.
Um, but yeah, you saw the game. You saw the game. What was your thoughts, man? Just a couple things I want to highlight real quick. You know what I mean, and we could deep dive. 70 points combined for Brunson and Cat, and and it didn't even feel that way. You know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like.
When they said Cat had like, at one point I remember the announcers said, "Oh, Cat, and he has 32," and I was like, "What? He had 32? Wow!" Like I wasn't really watching individual numbers like that, except for the young guys who were scoring when they normally don't even play. So obviously that stands out a lot more.
For sure, for sure. But I was like, yo, that I rewatched the game too, but you know what I mean, I noticed it better in the second watch. But real time, I'm like, damn, it didn't even feel like they both went off like that. You know what I mean?
Now it felt
Um,
like Brunson went off though, because the way Daniels ran his mouth crazy last year, and the way Brunson has now been basically abusing him, I'm watching every time Daniels is on him. So as like, oh, he's cooking you again. Like I'm talking to him through the TV screen. So it felt like he was getting abused. So I knew Brunson was had 30 plus easy.
so on a rewatch, what stood out to me was the 18 free throws for Cat. 18 free throw attempts. You know what I mean? Like that's got to be a high as a Nick. I don't remember him having that many free throw attempts in a game as a Nick. But yeah, if he could put pressure on a line like that, you know what I mean? I don't expect 18, but I'd be happy with 10 a game. I don't think he's averaging 10 a game.
He
You,
averages. It's funny you say that because I was in a back and forth with somebody today, and he don't know he dealing with the receipts guard. So I went and ran the numbers. He's at 6.1 foul shots a game. He's ranked 13th in the league, but basically every person that's above him is also above him in per points per game average. So this is consistent with top scorers in the league, minus a few exceptional 3-point shooters like the Durants and the Currys of the world.
okay. Yeah. So 6 point something. And you said you looked that up today?
I looked that up today.
Oh,
Six
that
points, and I might even have the windows to
the 18 shot
here,
that joint up.
here it is. He's at 6.1 a game. Luca leads the league at 9.4. But
Where's
you got
Brunson at?
he's not in the top 20.
Oh wow.
So I mean, you got your usual expected suspects, SGA and Harden. Of course, they're in the top. Those are the top three. But you know, Denny Avdija from Portland, fourth in the league in free throws. Austin Reeves, fifth in the league, 7.5 foul shots a game. Yeah, so some of these guys surprised me, that are up there. But I didn't realize how much points per game Avdija was averaging, but he averages more than Cat, believe it or not.
Who's that?
The kid from Portland, Avdija.
Oh, I don't even
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly my point.
know who that is. Um, Another thing, obviously, that stood out, Kevin McCullough Jr., getting the extended minutes, earning the extended minutes, having a good defensive game, earned the defensive player of the game, 13 points, 8 rebounds, I think 2 steals. You know what I mean? We've been kind of waiting on this kid. High hopes coming in. You know what I mean? Had the red shirt the first year. Uh, then took a whole. Took some time to kind of even get on the floor. This you could really say. I think they say he only played 8 games total. As an NBA player. So obviously
or last year for this year.
the work. You know what I mean? The work he's been putting in, and the Knicks training staff and the G League, all that is paying off. And he was out there, he had the player comp with Josh Hart. He went out there looking just like him with a better jump shot, maybe. um, and then the big thing, most started. You know what I mean? He played well in his 16 minutes. You know what I mean? A nice little post up. Um, the kid does not hesitate to shoot. Has that confidence going, and you could tell Mike Brown got him like as one of the risers coming up in the rotation and getting more and more of a chance. But the biggest thing was down the stretch, offensive defensive substitutions. Tyler Kolek remains in the game. Brunson gets taken out. Cat gets taken out. McCullough gets brought in. You know what I mean? But to see Tyler get left in there on the offensive defensive substitutions, that's telling. You know what I mean? Because that's not supposed to be one of his strong suits. But it goes back to the thing I've been saying about him this whole time. When he plays with that high basketball IQ and plays with that energy, it offsets some of those defensive deficiencies. You feel me?
And
Well, yeah. What stood out to you in that game
I mean,
overall?
Brunson's no, he's no all NBA defender. So, saying that he's in for Brunson, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, we need to stop right now. We got timeouts. We get the ball. We call timeout. Like it's very, very simple what we're gonna do. And Kolek's a small player, and he's not gonna get the ball and then more times than not at that juncture of a game do something foolish. So he's also trustworthy in that regard. But as far as other things that stood out in the game, um, let's see. I mean, yeah, of course, the rotations, as many young guys getting in and getting minutes as it was great. I thought Mitch played very, very well. Um, as far as I guess low key standouts, um, just I know what it was. It was Cat. He was getting to the foul line, but some of those arm flaring things that he does where he gets the offensive fouls, he leaned back off of that, and that was the difference. Where instead of getting offensive fouls, he was actually getting fouls called against him, and now in his favor, and now he's able to get to the line on some of these fouls where he's getting offensive fouls typically. So hopefully that's something they watched in video, they had conversations about, and that's going to be a long-term fix because
That
that's a difference maker.
at 100%. I mean, he has a tendency to get two of those offensive fouls a game,
Now
and he
he
has a
will get to
tendency to get two stupid defensive fouls a game. So if you could at least cut one of the two out, you know what I mean. Hope I prefer them both, but if you could cut one of the two out, you know what I mean. That'll go a long way from you getting, you know, 3 fouls early, 4 fouls early, and having to sit.
Yeah, I mean, in his defense, it does look like they be hacking him, and he's not really getting a lot of calls. So I know what it's. I can understand the frustration. It's like, all right, yo, get off me. You know what I'm saying? Like, like. So sometimes I'm like, maybe that sets the tone for later. I'm just like, if you're gonna do it though, like, do it. Like, make it like, yo, next time I'm not gonna be that close to this guy, fouling him like that because I don't want to get hit.
Just don't be so blatant. That's my thing. You know what I
I'm
mean?
kind of saying the
Or
opposite. I'm kind of saying be blatant. Like,
I mean, if
if Be blatant if and when you. I mean, like make it low key when you have to, but if you
You
need to make it a little blatant to send a message, yo, send a message.
a message is one thing, but if you already got one foul and it's the first quarter, you might not want to send that message. You know what I mean? Or if you already
Let it
got
be.
two
Let it
fouls,
let it be the first foul.
that's and I agree with that. I
Yeah.
agree with that. Let it be
Or,
the
or
first one.
if it's the end of the second and you only got one or you don't get any, yeah, all right, cool. We can do that at the end of the second. Give them something to think about going into the locker room.
Would you like or would you see from Diawara?
Yo, I love Diawara, man. Like, the biggest thing about him, he's like, I ain't come here to play with y'all. Like, I ain't shy. I ain't come here to just give the ball to Brunson and Cat. Like, I see him giving directions over there, over there. I'm like, all right, family, I see you. You know what I mean? So I got high expectations for him. Like when the season started, he was the person I said that was the person I think that would be most likely to have impact of the unexpected people. You know
He
what I'm
was.
saying? So I'm not totally shocked. I'm not totally surprised. It's coming a little earlier than I thought. But when Yabusele's basically been of no value, and then you don't have any other big men on the team, Mitch has to miss so many games, and you want to pair Cat with other bigs, and that's the thing is like, you know, to me, Diawara has the clearest path to have the most impact because he has the least competition, and I think that will continue to be the case throughout the remainder of the season unless the Knicks make a trade and bring somebody in that plays that role.
Yeah. I agree with you in the sense of the competition, but the competition maybe what fueled a guy like Tyler Kolek. You know what I mean? Hearing the rumblings of, hey, we got to bring in a vet backup, and going through it last year with a vet backup. You know what I mean in front of him, and so sometimes the competition fuels these guys. You know what I mean? Like, but
But
I feel what you're saying about there's really like the starters are in front of them, but other than that, there's no young guys like or middle of the pack guys that's clearly ahead of him in that role.
that
Maybe
comparatively,
McCullough right now, but
right, comparatively to McCullough, who's really more in a shooting guard slash small forward role.
hmm
First of all, Bridges is an Iron Man at small forward, and he's going to play 34 minutes, 35 minutes, right? And then if he's not playing small forward, there seems to be some affection with playing Clarkson and Shamit at small forward. I don't like that. I think it takes value from what they do best. But in any case, um, if nothing happens and these guys don't go, then what you gonna do? You got Deuce, you got Shamit, you got Clarkson. Like, ain't no minutes for you, boy. Like, you just stay ready though. And when people are out, they're injured, they need a break. You know what I mean? Then you get your periodic games where you can play. But all players healthy, it's gonna be real tough for McCullough to get any minutes, things being what they are.
I mean, yeah, we're definitely guard heavy already, and to your point, with Shamit playing the three, and yeah, I agree. But
And
one thing I will say, if he continues with the opportunities he gets to shoot the ball the way he does and impact the game statistically the way he did and play defense the way he did, he could leap somebody. I wouldn't give it to him, you know what I mean? I'll make him continue to earn it, but the same way he was scheduled to get 6 minutes and got 23, and he earned them, you know what I mean, them extra 18. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know what I mean, he could earn his way into the rotation based off of the way he impacts the game, and he gives you a little bit more size, which is, an area in which we're lacking. But it definitely is an uphill battle for sure. Um, who we got tonight? The Pelicans, right?
yep, and no
Um,
no Mitch.
Trap. You said no Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch is not playing tonight. They said
Oh, okay. I
exactly.
was I was
Who's
keeping I was keeping an eye on that. No back to backs, but every other game where they're gonna continue to let him play, which to me would have been a good sign. Um, hopefully this is. I mean, maybe they're looking at the opponent. Hopefully that's not the case, and they're not overlooking them because this is the true definition of a trap game. And I think they are improving. That Pelicans team is improving. I think they're gonna be better by the end of the year than most people think. That kid Queen is nice. Like I didn't understand him giving up the draft pick for him, but I've seen a couple of his games.
Nah, he gets busy.
That kid is nice. Like he kind of looked like what they want, what they want Zion to be, but less explosive. You know what I
So
mean?
on the injury report, Josh Hart is out again. Mitch is out. Landry Shamet out. Deuce questionable. They're probably not going to play him though.
And they put Tyler's not on it.
No.
Oh, he was early.
Um, and for New Orleans, DeJounte Murray still recovering from the Achilles rupture. Jose Alvarado out because
Suspended.
he knocking heads out. You know what I'm saying? The kind of spirit and energy I wouldn't be mad at having on this team. He said, "What, yo? So what? You 7 foot tall? Here, tell whole that." Herb Jones out. Trey Alexander, G League duty. Other one G League duty. So, um, yeah. I mean, it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, let's take care of business. No trap game tonight. But what I want to talk about, because it's going to be a short show, but what I want to talk about before we get out of here is the mentorship that seems to be going on with this team, and the younger guys having vets to kind of look up to off the court, but also model their games after on the court, right? Even from last year in the spurts that we got to see Kolick, it was a lot of people that I heard say, "Oh, he looks like Brunson out there. He reminds." Now maybe that was just the what I mean, the lefty, you know what I mean. But this year, you could see that he picked up a little bit of footwork maneuvers that we didn't really see last year. I'm gonna credit that to him watching Brunson, if not working hand in hand with Brunson on some of these things. Um, Small stature guard, perfect guy. You know what I mean? He just like Brunson, perfect guy to kind of model your game after. Also, you look at like their career paths in the sense that you know 4-year college guys, and those guys mature or a lot mature than the typical rookies or 2-year players. Like that's something that he came into the league with, right? High basketball IQ, knows how to run the offense. I think he was the Big East Player of the Year.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So no small feat there. Um, we'll go through the list, but what's your thoughts on potentially what have you seen that he may have picked up from Brunson? What would you like him to like to see him kind of work with Brunson on or learn from Brunson to kind of add to his game? And I'm gonna just throw this out there on the flip side because I got a couple of them on the flip side. But I was on Sim Show last night, and I'm like, you know what, J, JB should take that as a message. You know what I mean? The fact that Tyler's left out there to defend on the final possessions, and you getting pulled. You know what I mean? Like you should take that as a personal challenge to pick up some. You know what I mean? They're similar in stat. Like Tyler's not taller or bigger than Brunson. You know
No,
what I mean? I wouldn't say he's stronger than Brunson. Maybe he's faster than Brunson.
I would say fast.
I wouldn't say he has the higher or you know what I mean, a superior basketball IQ than Brunson. You know what I mean? So Brunson, take that as a personal challenge to kind of up your defense. You know what I mean? But on the Kolek side, what would you like to see him work on, pick up from Brunson?
Well, listen, Kolek. Let's not shortchange Kolek, right? Like you say, he was the Big East Player of the Year. There's nothing to sneeze at. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing to sneeze at all. So what Brunson has is amazing footwork. It's just like, you got Olajuwon, then you got Brunson. It's like I don't know who has better footwork between the two people. I mean, MJ has some great footwork, but he just didn't use it at such a level that he didn't need to use the footwork.
Athleticism. When you got the athleticism, you're not gonna.
And he had the athleticism, he had the fear, he had the speed. So he had the height, he just had the strength. So he had some other things. He didn't have to go into the footwork bag as much. Kobe has some good footwork too, but I mean Brunson's footwork is OD elite. So continue to study the footwork game, how you can apply it when you get in the lane, which he has absolutely done. I mean, they kept showing that one highlight in who was it that they just beat? Who did they just beat?
Cleveland,
I think it's
Atlanta.
I think it was the game before Cleveland. In any case, they kept showing this one highlight where he duped dude and slid in between them and laid it up on the left hand side. Like the highlights were running all over
Mm-hmm.
all of the Kolek highlights. So but what I like about Kolek though on the flip side is that he is his own guy. You know what I'm saying? Brunson's a lot more low key, low, humble, quiet, but Kolek's a little bit more of a personality. You know what I'm saying? So I want him to continue to show his personality, be himself, and do what he does, get the engagement, get the crowd going, and as I always say, part of what makes the difference between a star and a superstar is your personality and your engagement with the people. And Kolek seems to have that. It's like, yeah, they interviewed us about Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, I mean, if you'd have just went up and straight up and laid it up, he tried to do a windmill or some bleep. You know what I'm saying? Like Brunson would
Talk
never say
that talk. Word.
something like that.
Word.
He would never say that. So I want him to continue to be that guy. All you got to do is take the footwork because, truthfully, he's a better passer than Brunson. So we don't need him to follow Brunson's passing. Just just watch that footwork, man. Take anything you can from the footwork.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Shout out to my brother Sim. He said, "My bad, bro. Got caught up in a snowstorm. I know how the weather is up here, man. Upstate New York. So it's all good. Catch you on the next one. Um, and I should be there a little bit tonight, maybe 20 minutes or so. I'm back in the work in the morning, but um, moving on to the next one, the Kevin McCullough Jr. The comps right out of college was Josh Hart right off the back. You know what I mean? 5 year college guy. You know what I mean? So you talk about Kolek with the 4 years, he got 5 years under his belt. You know, he's a young guy, but he's an older, experienced guy. So the leap or the adjustment to make it into the league, and he redshirted as a rookie. You know what I mean? Like so, he's super experienced, even though he hasn't played a lot of NBA games. I don't know if there's much he could really learn from Josh, considering the comp was already there. And there might be some things you don't want to pick up
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like,
from Josh Hart.
nah,
But
you already got the Josh Hart, hard work, grind type of thing. The only thing I would say he can pick up is if he could enable some of that, grab the rebound, go coast to coast energy.
Okay.
That's the one thing that Hart
Okay.
does that I don't really see McCullough yet having that in his toolbox. I don't think he really did a whole lot of that at college, but I think there's room in the NBA for him to implement that.
To your point, I don't know if this is exactly the same thing, and I don't know if you would consider it something picking up from Josh Hart. But one thing I would want him to work on is the ball handling or showcase the ball handling. I believe he started off in college at the point guard. You know what I mean? Kind of had to switch positions because it didn't really work out to the best. You know what I mean? For the best, but I think there's some of that ball handling skill that is in him that he just needs to kind of showcase when he gets the ability to. Uh, yeah, East shout out to East Blue Drew. He said he did do it in college. I think I guess you're high on K Mac. You know, K Mac's on his way, and he's just gonna get more comfortable. And I agree. I agree with that with all the kids. And there you go, play the kids, right? I think the more these guys play, the more comfortable they get, the more experience they get, the more comfortable Mike Brown gets, the more data he collects on what situations they're comfortable in and what what they may not be comfortable in.
Uh,
Um,
I just heard something that I got to interject. Play the kids. Same thing still applies.
mm-mm.
Mike Brown or Tibbs. I want to win a championship, and I don't want to play no kids at the expense of being best prepared and best ready to win a championship. So, you know, we gotta remember, play the kids mentality is when your team doesn't have high aspirations. It's NBA finals or bust. And a lot of people think this team could win it. So we're not gonna be out here playing the kids, playing the kids, playing the kids when you're trying to win a championship. Should they get a little run here or there? All right, cool. You could, I mean, you could put your foot in the water, but you know, tippy toe every now and then, a little something light. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna be trying to give extended minutes because the truth is this is now a veteran team.
I agree with you 100%. Don't play the kids to just to build their confidence or just to kind of push them into the rotation. What I love is everybody is getting an opportunity, even if they gotta wait for it, right? They gotta wait till two guys go down or whatever the case. Somebody's missing the game, so you get your opportunity. So it's really about whatever opportunity you get, because they got opportunities under Tibbs as well. You know what I mean? But in those opportunities, you gotta produce, you gotta be ready. And but what I really love, especially since we talking about McCullough, he said that he was penciled in for 6 minutes. You know what I mean? Played 23. That means he earned it. You know what I mean? Like that means his performance on the court, his effort on the court, he showcased enough for the coach to say, I got to give him more time. I got to see more. Let me see how much of it, how long he could sustain this. Let me see if he gets winded. You know what I mean? Let me see if he slows down, takes his foot off the gas. All that data is collected. Now he may not play the next game. He may not play in a couple games, but you got some data, and then the next time you play, you collect more. The more data you collect, the more of a vision you can get when it comes playoff time. Hey, I can utilize them for this particular game, or for this particular matchup, or
But
for this particular series.
but
You know
with
what I mean?
no heart and no Shamit, and very possibly no Deuce, I would expect he gets some minutes. I mean, somebody's got to spell Bridges, and if you got or OG, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean. And yeah, you got to figure Diawara's going to start again. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch is out, so Huck Porty's going to get his minutes, and Kolick and Clarkson are going to be backing up at the 1 and 2, and you figure McCullough will get some minutes at the 3.
Yeah, I agree.
Diawara going to be getting some big minutes today, probably.
I'm looking forward to every opportunity these guys get to showcase who they are and who they could become.
We
Right?
might even get a Yabaseli, Yabba Dabba Doo sighting today.
Yabba dabba done, man.
Hey,
Yabba dabba done.
I mean, sometimes if you want to trade guys, you got to give them some minutes.
That's true. That is fair. That is true. you got you gotta
Showcase.
you gotta set some plays for them, everything like showcase them.
Showcase. It's the
Hey,
Yabba
we
Dabba Doo showcase.
need. Oh man, I don't know, man. I don't know about that guy. Let's move on to OG and Diawara. Um, I mean, I don't know what type of mentor OG is, like what type of personality he got to kind of take somebody under his wing. Like you hear all types of stories about, hey, he's a funny guy. He's a lot more funnier than you think, or has more personality than you think. But they always talk about his work and his work ethic. You know what I mean? So even that playing ones, you know what I mean? I think that's a great matchup for both guys to kind of steel sharpen steel. Um, I picked those two though because he's the most comparable guy in body type, archetype. You know what I mean? 6'8", 6'9", long arms, defensive wing. One thing I would say is it seems like OG has taken the long road in the NBA. Like he did, like he's building himself up from where he started to where he is now. Obviously in Toronto, he wanted that bigger role. Um, but the knowledge that he accumulated over that time, even not playing but being on the championship team, playing behind Kawhi or with Kawhi, whatever little tools or things you could teach him, take that man under your wing. You know what I mean? Show him the ropes. Help him get to his peak faster than you got to yours. And he's a lot younger, 19 years old. You know what I mean? So he got a lot more room to grow and a lot more years to get to where you were, where you started to peak. You know what I mean? So can you get him to? I don't expect it this year or not even next year. But can you just give him some growth spurts? You know what I mean? Um,
Listen,
but what do you think about that mentorship?
I mean, we already know that um we already know that the boy OG is like Kawhi light. You know what I'm saying? He's got Kawhi written all over him. He's got Kawhi written all over him. You feel me? So Kawhi don't really exude mentor. You know what I'm saying? And to me, neither does OG. And I don't know anything about the Awara personally, so I got to get a little bit more familiar with him to see if OG is the ideal mentor from a personality perspective. But everything you mentioned in terms of like kind of like a project coming into the league and you know uh the style of play and how it could be very similar. But I mean, Diawara is a legit 6'9", you know, somebody that could play power forwards and even small ball centers, but
Mhm.
can switch out on threes, can play against twos. Like to me, is this is the guy of all the young people that I'm excited about being able to have the longevity with the team. It's definitely Diawara. Like I'm seeing him, if not next year, the following year, locked in as the starting power forward.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you got offensive prowess with Brunson, with Bridges, with Cat, and even with OG, who's a two-way player, you got enough offense. And a lot of great teams, the throwbacks, you had your Ben Wallaces, you had your Dennis Rodmans, you know what I'm saying? You had your You had your Kurt Rambuses even further back. You know what I'm saying? Like you have your one guy whose main role is really defense. And not to say that he can't even get buckets, because clearly he going coast to coast, he's shooting threes. So it's not like he's a whole liability like some of those other guys were. But in a starting lineup with those four guys, man, I'm like, yo, next year might not be too soon. Now you still got Hart for another year off the bench. You know what I mean? And yo, I don't know D-Wall, man. I think sky's the limit for this kid.
Yeah, I agree. I think he could be. I think his ceiling is somewhere in between Siakam and Sean Marion.
I was,
Somewhere in between there.
yeah, nah, I definitely see the Siakam comps for sure. I mean, Siakam didn't come in looking like he'd be a future NBA All Star and a threat at the 3-point line when he came into the league. So to see the way he evolved is kind of how you gotta look at where he is today, what tools he has, and yeah, man, like it would never surprise me at all if this kid hit the All Stars a couple of years, 5, 6, 7 years from now.
Nostalgic Nick, salute. Says salute to the panel and to the chat. Hit that like button. Appreciate you, nostalgic. Sharon, he don't believe well, first Easter Blue, he believes in Mo. But Sherman says Mo reminds him of Kevin Knox and he don't think he's ready. And,
Kevin Knox,
and I,
Kevin
I don't
Knox,
see the Kevin Knox comparison.
Kevin Knox. How dare you?
Um
That boy didn't play a
Kevin
lick
Knox
of
didn't
defense.
play defense well at all.
He didn't play
And
a
I
lick
think
of
Mo
defense.
I think Mo's defense is not bad. I think he looks more lost sometimes with the speed than it is like just guarding one-on-one on-ball defense. I think that's where he's going to excel. You know what I mean? Switches and the speed, he's going to have to learn that for sure. But I've seen some real good defensive possessions from him. What Mike Brown talks about verticality, that's one of the areas that I think he's been doing well at as well.
Yo,
Um,
and he not necessarily his close out, but his ability to close space, his ability
mhm,
to be
take
behind
up
you
space.
but be right on you. Like he has that probably more than anybody on this team. Like he's shrinking space very very quickly.
There
So
you go,
um to my brother, you said that was Sherman.
Sharon.
Yeah, Sherman. I don't know what TV you looking at. I don't know what you're looking at, brother, but I don't know. I'm seeing Diawara playing some excellent defense.
And people credited Dadier and his defense. I've never really seen. I mean, I seen the tools. You know what I mean, the attributes to be a good defender, but he looks way more lost to me than Diawara does. And this is year two for him.
Nah, Yabba Daddy A, put him in a deal. Throw a pick or two, pack it up. Let's keep it moving. Make some room. Make some room. Make some room.
Speaking of Dadier, what's your thoughts on Mikal and seeing somebody say Mikal is the one that takes the young guys under their wing? Um, what that's the next mentorship, and then we'll do Mitch and Huck Porty. But anything you could take away, he could take away from Mikal in particular. I would say, and I think this could be make him dangerous. The off ball movement, right? Especially the backdoor cuts, the cut into the basket, finding the open space. You know what I mean? At his size, you know what I mean? And especially with him projected to be a shooter, So now you got to have the threat to, if they're watching you at the line, the, you know what I mean,
But
backdoor cuts and
for
get
what
to the
it's
rim.
worth, though, in the summer league last year, and whenever he played, that actually seemed to be an attribute that he had. I'm not saying don't continue to watch and just keep studying it. Yeah, definitely. But of anything that he did that stood out that I could kind of highlight in the most positive way, it was actually his movement off the ball. He got quite a few baskets year one in summer league,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he does well. He came with those instincts. He hasn't played a lot, so you don't use it, you lose it. Who knows? But but keep studying that though, because that's the type of thing you want to be able to get in a game and still be able to implement regardless of how much you're playing or not. And this is what the value of practice is, and how you got to get better in practice. Study that McCall's always here. He's always steady. He's always ready. Definitely don't pick up that fadeaway shot though. Go to the hoop a little bit more, please, please.
East Drew Blue said it's usually McCall and Deuce that I see with the young guys. Yeah, shout out to Deuce. He's definitely another one that is always giving giving advice. I'll never forget the Huck Party. Hey, this is how I got in the game. This is how I got the garbage time minutes. This is where I proved myself. You know what I mean? So the that was huge. You know what I mean? Um,
Deuce is like a young guy anyway. He looks like a young guy. He fits in with the young guys just from his look, his vibe, his dress, his energy, the hair. He's got I'm one of the young guys written all over him anyway.
Yeah, he's like, I'm definitely not one of the vets. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
I wasn't getting vet treatment, so I
I
mean,
got,
I gotta
I got
resonate with you guys.
that's what we call the young OG.
Hmm.
He's the young OG. All right, yo, Deuce, take the young guys, Deuce. You take the young guys. Because everybody else is too old. Cat, OG, McCall, Brunson, Hart, Mitch, those are the old heads. They all going to one spot. All right, Deuce, you take the young guys and you got to supervise all the young guys. Now, McCall might tell Deuce what to do.
Don Kane said, surprisingly, Cole got his mentorship from Payne. He mentioned how he told him to always make an impact. Absolutely, I did see that clip. Always impact the game, and he sure does.
Can I
He
can I
sure
say
does.
can I say something, Tone? This is why it's good that I know people are like, this. I'm admittedly one of these guys, right? So there's a lot of back and forth between, the new coach and the former coach. And a lot of people are like, oh, see, if, Tibbs would have never played him, he would have never played him. And I'm just like, well, listen, the guy wasn't drafted in the second round. It's not like he's a lottery pick or he was player of the year. I know he was Biggie's player of the year, but we ain't talking about the 80s, 90s Biggies. We're talking about the new Biggies. It ain't the same. And, respectfully. But Kolek is playing because Deuce got injured. He ain't playing because the coach found minutes for him. Like he was getting garbage time minutes until Deuce got hurt.
Hmm.
So we got to keep these in perspective. I looked at Payne as a 1 year stopgap to get Kolek ready for year two. That's what I looked at it as. And I said, well, but if Deuce can handle point guard and you get a better shooting guard, a la Clarkson, then that's going to maybe delay Kolek another year or so because now you got such an improvement with Clarkson over shooting guard and a Duska whole point guard. Then all right, then you're better than you were last year. So the need for Kolek to play is not really there like that. You have an injury, he gets minutes. Everybody can't play. Everybody can't play. Everybody can't consistently when I say that.
Hmm. And
No,
I just don't know if I I'm interested just to see like non-Brunson minutes tonight. Well, you said Kolek's not on the injury report. You know what I
right.
mean? But I think he does bring something that we need that nobody else really can do at this point. You know what I mean? So it's it really is. You know what I mean? He's the backup, or we gotta go get one. Because the Don Brunson minutes look different now that he's been in the rotation. You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that he plays alongside Brunson for an extended amount of minutes, to me, is telling. It's almost. I think he reached his stay, and he's in. I think I don't know. I don't know whose minutes drop when it's all said and done and we're whole, but I think he's in.
That's a lot easier said than reality, my brother. It's a lot easier said than reality because uh before Deuce got hurt, as you quite well reminded me, Deuce was smoking. So what you gonna do? You're gonna play. You're gonna start Deuce. And as we talked about Diawara, the more I thought about it, I didn't want to interject, but I was sitting here thinking, okay, we talked about starting Deuce to now give the Kolick and Clarkson off the bench backcourt. But I'm like, I ain't gonna hold you. If I gotta start somebody, I think I'd rather start Diawara. That's just like
At this junction right now, I don't. I
oh, even at this juncture, because you know what? Like a game like the last one, even though he started, he only played like 17, 18
16
minutes.
minutes. I see what you're saying. Tibbs used to do things like that too. So I get what you're saying. Start him, but it'd be like
If it's
16,
if it's a
10
fit,
minutes, 12.
if it's a fit, cool. And he plays more. If it's not a fit, you take him out early and you go small ball, or or you bring in Mitch in, but
Well,
you
right
know,
now, I don't think when we're whole, I don't think the starting unit changes at all. I think Josh Hart coming
oh,
into the starting unit
I'm
and the
saying with
impact is
I'm saying with
made.
heart out. I'm saying with heart.
Okay, okay. Yeah, in the meantime, I think, yeah, give him that look. Continue to give him that look. I have no problem with that. You get more data. You know what I mean? You get more data. The minutes will fluctuate. If he earns it, he would get 23 minutes. You know what I mean? If not, you cut it back. Last one before we get out of here. Huck Porty, Mitchell Robinson. Um, Obviously we seen Deuce giving Huck Purdy the words of advice and wisdom. But what do you think he can learn from Mitch? Um, right off the back, the first thing that comes to my mind is how quickly from year one to year two, Mitchell Robinson cut down on the fouls as far as like trying to block everything. You know what I mean? I see him already doing the left hand blocks. I don't know if that's something he got from Mitch or not, but you know what I mean. That's still something that's rare. You don't usually see people block shots with their opposite hand. So maybe he's worked on that. Um, It's not really much else I could say. Like, Mitch does his thing, offensive rebounding, but I think that's just a natural talent. I don't know if that's something that's a technique that he could go ahead and teach Huckporty to work on. But I would just say like discipline defensively. You know what I mean? Huckporty got a lot of energy. He likes to try to block everything. You know what I mean? So that would be the biggest thing he could learn from Mitch.
Yeah,
Um,
I would just think the offensive rebounding, like just study Mitch's positioning, how he's using his hands, how he's using his body to get, his instincts. I mean, I know Rodman used to say like he used to watch the spins on the ball. Like if there's anything unique that Mitch is doing to get himself, maybe it's tendencies from shooters on the team, maybe it's just how he watches, you know, when Brunson shoots, when he shoots from this side, he usually misses over here. But when he shoots from that side, he misses over there. Like if there's little nuances like that, which I would imagine there should be, and they probably got data that could tell him that. So just watch how Mitch does it, and ask him questions. Mitch seems to be a guy that likes to talk and help people, and but Mitch. What you're gonna say, Mitch. Mitch seems to be kind of like he's in his own world a little bit, but he seems like he's a likable guy, like everybody likes. But yeah, I don't know. Huck Porter, he's from Germany. I don't know how much of a language barrier there really is. Um, he grew up playing football, aka soccer. So use those instincts from football and bring it to the field, man.
Yeah. Um, I haven't really got to discuss that trade that you mentioned. I think I spoke to Sim about it. I don't know if it was on air or not, but that Nicholas Batum, I mean for Yabusele,
Yeah, not yeah, throw him a second round pick at least. You
I
know,
like that. I like that. He don't, you know what I mean. He don't gotta play much. You talked about language barriers. You know what I mean. We got a couple of freshmen that you know what I mean. I'm sure they familiar with already. And you talk about jump starting some guys and giving them some mentorship. You know what I mean? That'd be a great mentor for both them young French guys. You know what I mean? Even if it is for half a season, but I wouldn't even count him out as a break glass in case of emergency guy. You know what I mean? A guy that could come in and help defensively. I mean, obviously he's not the youthful Batum that he used to be, but still could guard, some fives, some fours, some threes. You know what I mean? Still got that basketball IQ, that experience. Still could shoot the three ball. Um,
I mean, listen, right now he's playing 21 minutes a game, 39% for the field, 39% from three, 85.7 from the free throw line, 2.5 boards a game, almost one steal a game, 4.7 minutes a game. Um, and the most important thing is he's a great veteran locker room type of guy, and this is what you want. A guy
and
that's
he
been,
wants to win. Like
yeah,
it's one thing. Like he thought he was going to a situation to win and compete. You know what I mean? But it's one thing when you a vet and you just brought there the mentor.
right.
You know what I mean? Like and sometimes you need that. And you know what I mean? Sometimes that's great. But when you a vet and you on your what I mean, your last legs in the league and you ain't get that ring, you know what I mean? Like those are the guys that'll come up with the Robert Ory type threes that'll win you a series or something, you know. So yeah, the more I think about it, I like that.
I mean,
Uh,
this is year 17 for him. You know what I mean? He playing 20 minutes a game right now.
it
You,
says salary is 5.6, so we would have to add.
nah, the salary matches. I just did it on Trade Machine, boy. I did this before I sent it to you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I thought you did. I
I'm the
thought you
receipt.
did.
I'm the receipts guard. Trust me. He's at 5.6. Yabba Dabba Doo is at 5.5,
So
and
we,
and
so we can't, but we can't take more. So we would have to.
I'm sorry. He's at right. Yabba Doo's at 5.5, and Batum is at 5.6.
So
So
yeah,
it's only 100,000. So we do have room for 100,000.
but no, I think legally we can't take more. We can't do a trade where we take $1 more than we sending out.
Mm.
And I'm pretty sure the Clippers are in that same exact situation. So for it to work, it would have to be a a, a multi-team trade to make the salaries match evenly, or somebody absorbing, you know what I mean, money that where we're taking back less than we're sending out. So yeah, if it's $1 difference, we can't do it. If it's $1 over, we can't do it. If we're taking less money, we could do it. So oh well, I guess I'll stop thinking about about that one. But
I gotta look through the CBA, do my homework there.
um I might be back tomorrow night, Shuttle. I'll hit you up, see if you're free. I'm trying to get a panel together. I got Josh locked in, so Josh will be making his return to Knicks and Bruises. I'll make a couple of phone calls and see who's available. But it's something I want to talk about with the Knicks and winning on the margins and how they're tackling that from every possible angle. Um, I've been thinking about this for like a couple of months now, and I think I'm ready to have this talk.
Okay.
Winning on the margins, but yeah, man, appreciate you, Shuttle, for tuning in. Shout out to the chat, man.
And I didn't get a chance to say, like, it's nothing like being Trey Young either. And hearing that MSG South crowd out there representing. Shout to all my transplants in the A out there representing. Uh I'm hoping that I make a game down there before this season is over. I gotta look at the schedule.
Atlanta,
Yeah,
I'm going for April 4th, I think. April 4th or April 6th, and I'm already locked in. Like I'm doing a little family trip, so if you out there, you know what I mean. I'm definitely looking for some other things to do while I'm out there too. So let
now
let,
I'm OG connected at eight in the A.
let me know. It'll be my first
OG
time in
connected.
Atlanta.
Oh, nah. Listen, my guys do old school Saturday party down there. Shout to my boy Don J. They're not doing it every month anymore, but that might be the first of the month, and they're doing it in April. Anyway, I'm super connected down there. So
Okay.
you,
Well, even
you
even if you don't make it,
right, you'll be fully
I'm gonna
you'll be
hit you up
fully
because I'm gonna be looking for some things to do. Don Cannon, he said, "What time tomorrow?" I'm not sure yet. I get home around 2:30, and so it's really up to the availability of my panel. You know what I mean? So hopefully I could get everybody locked in on the same time frame. But I'm gonna say anywhere from 2:30 time frame to maybe like 7 would be the latest because I got another early morning after that. So, but nah, chat, man. I appreciate you guys checking in, tuning in. Replay game, Shuttle. Appreciate you as always. Birthday bash. You want to let them know again?
January 7th, DJ Shuttle watch party. We're gonna be at Ben's Crab with my boy Hollywood Chuck. Cap season, aka Capricorn season. Um, we got the Knicks, we got DJ Shuttle, and we got hopefully any of my peoples in the network here that's in the city, man. Listen, we're gonna be in Valley Stream, Ben's Crab in Valley Stream. It's right on the borderline of Queens and Long Island, right off the Bell Parkway, Cross Island Parkway. Um, yeah, man, no cover to get in, food, drinks, everything's a go in there. And yeah, we got a couple big screen TVs, and it's gonna go down.
I'm still working on it, man. But if I could pull up, I could pull up.
Hey, I
And don't dip off. I gotta let you know about something when we done.
heard you.
But yeah, shout out to the chat, man. Until next time, your blackest time. I'll see y'all next time, man. We out. Let's get this win tonight. No trap game. And I'll see y'all for a little bit on MBK tonight. Peace.